going. Well, good morning. Hello. How are you doing today, Ron?
I am doing okay. I mean, just going. It seems like there's a lot of like really bad news out there.
Yeah, a lot of really bad news. Well, you're listening to Going on Daily or watching Going on Daily Live, and we're here to bring you all the bad news today.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that seems to be the sum of things, right?
yes. Yeah, today's a little bit of a downer episode, but I mean, continuing my music
Oh, it's
theme, I have got the
going to be
60s.
interesting though.
Yes, it is going to be interesting today. Well, we have a lot to cover today, so I won't dilly-dally, but just go follow us on Twitch at RI_broadcasting, on YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting, and of course, please support us on Patreon. We've got a lot of good stuff there, mugs, stickers, just help keep the show going. And of course, that's RI Broadcasting and Facebook too. I can't remember what it is for Facebook, but whatever. You'll find it. Type in Rhode Island Broadcasting and you will find us here live almost every morning at this point, eh? It's getting close to
Yeah,
almost
pretty
every
much.
morning. Yeah,
Pretty much.
amazing.
Except Sundays and Fridays for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. Okay, cool. Well, let's get into it. Hurricane Milton. This is crazy. These photos that I've seen are insane.
It's horrendous.
Horrendous.
And they haven't even assessed anything yet. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's still early in the process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just rolled through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you talk about destruction, the Tropicana field roof got destroyed,
Oh no.
torn to shreds.
Who placed it?
Tornadoes. I mean, there was so many tornadoes. It was mind-boggling. I mean, it was like constant. I'm guessing somewhere over 125 tornado warnings, which generally
Oh my
means
gosh.
it's a tornado.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
just
no, just a
haven't
watch.
confirmed a lot of them yet. But I mean, that's what basically the number is going to be. It's going to be up around 100 something.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, it's been just in St. Lucie County
Mhm,
alone.
mhm.
There was 6 to 12 of them. They don't know how many yet
Wow.
exactly, but there was at least 6 to 12 of them.
So do you know the science behind it? I'm not a meteorologist by any means. I don't know anything about weather. Why does a tornado happen, or why is it a concern when there's a
Well,
hurricane?
because of the spiraling of the air in
Mhm,
the atmosphere
mhm,
and the hurricane, it generally does spawn a lot of tornadoes.
okay.
They're just usually pretty weak because of the dynamics of the hurricane. But
Right.
in this case, they were strong tornadoes, and
Wow.
they were a complete menace. I
Ugh,
know there's 5 confirmed deaths in
no.
just in I think no 4 sorry 4 confirmed deaths
Mhm,
that I know of now.
mhm.
I I haven't seen the reports in the last hour or so,
Wow.
so I'm sure that is climbing as we
Mhm,
speak.
mhm. Oh, I'm sure
I
of
mean,
it.
when you think about Helene, it killed 230 people.
Really? And it wasn't nearly the same magnitude, was it?
No, no, it's just where it hit
Crazy. Right.
caught everybody off guard,
That's right.
and you might think you would pay attention to the weather forecast. That would
Right.
be
Well, with a lot of that damage was in North Carolina where
right.
usually I think they probably think they're safe up there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the problem on where it hit and how it hit. This one,
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
was a strong storm, and it
Mhm.
grew. as it was going.
Right.
And I mean, the damage, Plant City, 13 and a half inches of rain.
Wow.
And you look at, so where's the other one? 16 inches in St. Petersburg. I mean, that's just the rain, not counting, storm surge and, the whole bit. So there's a lot of flooding, a lot of damage.
Mhm.
3.2 million homes and businesses without power. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of
That's a
people
lot of
without
people.
power.
Well, you figure when I think of no power, I think of, "Oh, I can't charge my cell phone," but no, you have no food, no cold food, probably no running
Yeah.
water, no way to contact people. You're
No.
bored out of your mind, right? It's hot, it's cold, it's hot in Florida, so, probably extremely warm, so people having heat exhaustion, heat stroke, things like that. It is
Yeah, and in St.
brutal.
Petersburg, not only did they lose the power, but they also had a water main break, so
Mm.
people are left without water as well.
Wow. Wow.
So, I mean, there is a possibility of them shutting down the sewer system
Oh my gosh.
because I mean, it's that bad of a problem in St. Petersburg. Um, I think Tampa Bay was spared the brunt of the
Mm.
storm,
Mhm.
but these other cities, I just, you know, these hurricanes are just so powerful now.
Mhm.
Uh, they're just leveling towns. They're just leveling them, and you're seeing now back to back. I mean, what, in a week and a half, you got two hurricanes that are this destructive. I mean,
And
how are they
wasn't
even going to recover from all of this?
wasn't the talk that there was a 3rd one too? Like, there was
Yeah,
gonna be 3 back to back to back?
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
how do you?
and there's still plenty of time. And with the planet getting warmer, it doesn't necessarily it's going to end in October either.
Mhm.
I mean, the Gulf is still very warm.
Yeah.
All the Atlantic,
Yeah,
it's
y
still warm
your
water.
your hurricane season might not be that September to November kinda thing or August to November. It might extend beyond that now as
Yeah, it could.
everything
And
shifts.
I don't know if this area can really take another one. I don't know
Right.
if it can take another one
Yeah.
because now you're talking about the ground is just so saturated from water.
Mhm.
It's going to be more susceptible each time. So
Mhm.
even if it's not a hurricane, just a regular storm that goes through, it could cause
Mhm.
more damage because of, the ground is just soft right now.
Right.
It's just got too much water in it. So trees are going to stop buckling,
Mhm.
and that's just it's going to be a big problem if they get another big storm.
Mhm.
It'll be a
Yeah,
big problem.
it's hard to be situated or have a town situated on the ocean. The ocean is completely unstoppable, right?
Yeah, no, you
Water,
can't do anything about it.
you can't stop that. So, I'm as much as I love the idea of living coastally, I don't think I ever would because, like,
Yeah, I am now.
yes, yes.
I am now. Little
Luckily,
scary.
you're north enough, like, you probably feel some after effects of the
Oh,
storms,
no,
I'm
I
sure.
moved down towards where the water is pretty much I mean,
Hmm.
it's like a half a mile away.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I know up in Canada, in the Maritimes, so Nova Scotia specifically, quite often we'll get hit with these major storms or the aftermath of hurricanes, and obviously that's more north of you, but
Yeah.
they're more often in the winter, so these winter storms are, like, devastating,
Yeah, the
absolutely
winter
devastating
storms
to
just
them.
shut things down because of the
Yes.
snow, the totals. You
Yes.
can only do so much,
Yes.
and, but if that's the worst that you get,
Mhm.
not so bad,
I know.
you know? I mean, you
It's
don't have to deal with the ferociousness of the ferociousness?
ferociousness, yes.
Ferociousness, a new word, of these powerful storms that are coming in
Right.
from the moisture, and it's pretty bad. I mean, you
Mhm.
see it. I mean, there's something wrong. All these storms are just so much stronger.
Mhm.
Tornadoes, everything. They're
Mhm.
so much stronger, and they're doing more and more damage every time. And I don't know. I don't know. Something's got to be done. And
Mhm.
then politics have gotten in the way. With all the BS that they're spewing on both sides.
Yes.
about these storms and stuff. And
What I have been seeing, again, Canadian, complete outsider, I don't know much. But the aid, they say we're, with this last one with Helene, we're only going to give so much aid. And then it's like, no, we're not doing any more. Like, oh, we're
yeah,
going to continue to give money overseas. Like Ukraine, well taken care of. Our own
yeah,
people, not so much. I don't understand that. I don't understand why a country is not taken care of before any other country. Like,
yeah.
why do people pay taxes? Why do people
It
live there?
it's one of those things that there's a fine line with everything, right?
Mhm.
And nobody wants to forget about other countries, but
Mhm.
you also tend to forget more of your own country because you think somebody else is going to come to the help.
Right, but who's gonna
Well,
come to
now
the
you
aid
have
of the states?
you
Who?
have oh god, FEMA saying that they used all the funding for Helene and they have no
Mhm.
more funding now. And like, what are they going to do to clean up?
And knowing that there was more hurricanes coming. I don't know, maybe Ukraine wants to step up and help send some of that money back. Again, I
Yeah,
say this as a
maybe.
complete outsider, but I know in my country too, we send a lot of money over there. And meanwhile, like people can't even find houses here because the housing crisis is so bad. People can't afford to live, and yet a lot of money is being sent to different countries. So
Yeah,
to me personally, it's kind of like that airplane analogy, like how are like you have to put on your own mask before you put on somebody else's mask, right? Like how are you going to help anybody if you're dead?
yeah, right.
So I struggle with that. So
I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully, the people down there in Florida can recover quickly.
yes.
Uh, I know Mike is down there. I saw him look at some of the posts this morning in the group.
Yeah, I
So
saw
I'm
he
guessing he's
posted
okay.
1 hour ago. He posted. I didn't read it, but he did post 1 hour ago. So yeah, our thoughts, our prayers are with all these people
Yep.
down there. They're saying write your name and what is it, your phone number, your name and your social security number or something in Sharpie on your arm in case you come floating up so they can
Yeah,
identify
that's kind
you.
of horrible, huh?
That's terrifying.
It's kind of horrible.
Yes, that is absolutely terrible. So, like, we are thinking of everybody who's down there. Please be safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like
Well,
I said, I know a lot of people down there.
yeah. Oh, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. It makes me wonder why anyone wants to live down there. Besides, it's
Yeah.
like, majority of the year is beautiful beaches and things like that. But
Mm.
yeah.
There
Anyway,
are negatives everywhere, right?
there for sure. Yeah, of course there is. I live somewhere that's landlocked, so we don't have to worry about coastal storms. And like I said, we don't
Yeah.
have a lot of bugs and our temperature's pretty good, but like it gets very cold. So that's our trade-off.
Yeah.
It's freezing in the winter. It sucks
Even
to drive.
Hawaii has negatives. They have all
Oh
those
yeah.
volcanoes down there,
Volcanoes. Yeah, that's right. Lava,
If you're there, then you're not.
I I would stress out about lava if I'm honest.
Yeah. But as long as the floor is not lava.
That's right. That's right. As long as your floor is solid and the lava is nowhere near you, then maybe I would live there. I actually have a friend who lives there and she says it's amazing. No concerns about lava. So I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, now to more happy news.
Oh yeah. You like
So
the little wait, is it there? I don't see
yeah,
it
did
there.
he do it? Oh,
Did
like,
he
did
do it?
he do it? Okay, like, number 1, yes, he did it. So, I wrote down a million things here. You can't see because I got
I
the
cannot
filters
wait.
on.
I've been wanting to talk about everybody's talking about him. I want
Everyone's
to jump
talking
on
about
the
it.
bandwagon.
And yet when I went and did like, I see videos nonstop, and, I'm following them, and I thought I was saving them, and yet yesterday when I went to all my conspiracy pages, I had a really hard time finding anything. So, like, is the internet scrubbed? Were people told to remove stuff? I don't know. Where did I see it? Because I even went to TikTok. I rarely go on TikTok, but when I do, it's because I want a less scrubbed version of what I see on Instagram or Facebook, right? So I even went there and I was having a hard time finding details. I did find a massive list of people who attended his parties. Like, probably I wrote down 80
Mm,
names. in an earlier thought, I was like, I'm going to read all these names. I don't think I'm going to do that. That's a lot of names. But just know that there's a ton of massive stars on this list.
Yes,
And
I
no
saw that
surprise.
list.
Yeah, massive. Just to give people, a little bit of insight here. Jay-Z, Beyonce, of course. I think Jay-Z's at the top of a lot of what goes down in the music industry. That is a topic for another day. But like the music industry is incredibly evil. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce are at the top of it. You have people like Leonardo DiCaprio, Usher, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, uh, the Kardashians, Cardi B, Dr. Dre, which I thought was interesting because there was all that back in the day with Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. and they were opposing. So why would Dr. Dre be at a party? But yeah, just the list goes on and on. Royals, Prince Harry, Prince William, Eugenie Beatrice, and royals from different countries too.
It
Monaco, Qatar.
makes you wonder what the heck is going on over there.
Okay,
Like,
so
why is the Royals going to this? It makes no
well,
sense to me.
I think the royals of later years, maybe the last 20-ish years, has been more about socialite status than it has been monarchy, right? Like
Yeah.
these younger generations, they want to be at the best parties. They want to be famous for being rich and beautiful kind of thing. Not that they really are, but rich for sure. But yeah, I think that's why they go to places like this. Even Princess Madeline of Sweden, I had no idea that Sweden had a princess, but apparently they do. It's probably just in title and not really in power. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It just it just doesn't even seem like it would be their, I don't know, group to hang out with, so to
it
speak.
was such a random list. I saw one picture of because they're all called the white party, so everyone's dressed in white. It was Regis and Kathy Lee with them. Like, why
Yeah.
were Regis and Kathy Lee there? But here's the thing that maybe people don't understand. And as my kid, my 14-year-old says, "Oh, have you seen all this Diddy stuff and this and that?" And I'm like, girl, like, let's go back a few years here down the
Yeah.
conspiracy train. Like, if you think that Diddy is the guy and everything's going to just come crashing down around him, you are sorely mistaken. Everyone is the guy. Okay. Like, pretty much a lot. I'm not going to say everyone in Hollywood because I don't think that's fair to say, but like a good chunk of Hollywood and the music industry, sports, especially things like basketball, because I feel like that's a fairly
Mhm.
polarized place these days. Politicians, businessmen, they are in on it. Okay. And every
Yeah.
few years, they send somebody to the wolves to be torn apart. So right now, that person is, of course, Diddy. A few years ago, it was R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, even Jeffrey Epstein. Not that I'm coming to the defense of any of these men by any means, but they are just distraction tactics to take away from everything else that's going on, whether that's more of what these Diddy allegations are, because everyone knew about it. Anyone who was at these parties knew what was going on. They saw what was going on, or just to distract from other things that are going on right now in the world. So one thing I wrote down that I thought was very interesting was that on the same day that Diddy was arrested, or maybe the day prior, 23andMe, the what is it, the DNA people to find
Yep.
out your ancestry.
Yep.
23andMe, every single board member resigned at the same time, either the day before or the day of the Diddy arrest.
Why?
Right. So it's said that there is something a little more unethical about to happen there, and people were stepping down. So the CEO of 23andMe is married to the CEO of YouTube and Google. So not only
Mhm.
do they have your genetic information, they also have your data, your search history, your conversations, everything.
Interesting.
So there is some chat that with your DNA and your search history and things like that, they can now sell you health. Health is like the ultimate thing, right? Like everyone wants it. Everyone wants to live forever. They want to sell you health. They want to sell you cures, anti-aging, and now it's going to be completely targeted because they know what you're after. They know
Yeah.
everything about you. They can tailor it. So that's what they're talking about. But no one is talking about this because, Diddy overshadows it. Who knows? Is it related? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't believe anything goes down in Hollywood or in the music industry that's not connected, to be honest.
Yeah,
My
I
personal
mean, when
opinion.
you start adding things up, and we had talked about Garth Brooks, the
Mm-hmm.
conspiracy,
Yes.
and now I remember about a month ago, I announced that he was ending his residency.
Mm.
He shut down his uh live stream performances or
Oh,
whatever he
really?
was doing on his website. Shut
Mm.
all that down because he wanted to, spend time with his family. And then I got the bombshell a couple of days ago. I saw the headlines that he's got allegations of,
Ah.
I believe it is sexual assault and stuff like that. And so it's kind of weird how it all goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, bam, here we go. So he knew a
Mm-hmm.
while ago this was coming down the pike, and that's why he ended his residency.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So,
Because it is all connected,
yeah.
always. No surprise there. I think, a lot of these celebrities should be terrified that Diddy's going to talk. Like, have you ever seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Tom
Oh,
Cruise.
yeah. I saw it.
It's Stanley Kubrick film, and
Yep.
apparently, so this was I think in '99 it came out.
Yeah, when
Apparently,
Tom
this
and Nicole were still
that's
married.
right. Yes. And they were both in it. It was supposed to be even more telling than it was. I've read that there are scenes that were cut out
Yep.
post Stanley Kubrick's death because he was trying to expose some stuff and then he suddenly died during the creation of it. Is it true? I don't know. He's said to have filmed the moon landing as well, if you're a conspiracy theorist like me. So a lot of very interesting stuff in there, but that's what these parties, I assume, are more like. They're ritualistic. It's more than just, hey, let's go get drunk and wear white clothes at Diddy's party. I think there is a lot of like satanic stuff that goes on at these parties, a lot of rape, a lot of dare I even say sacrifice? It depends how far down the rabbit hole you are. I am like so far down it. But yeah, a lot of weird stuff goes down at these parties, and I don't think anyone's hands are clean in this. Diddy's
Yeah,
just the
probably not.
scapegoat.
And when I looked at the list, there was I was really only surprised a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised by all the royals
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't think that kind of party was their cup
Right.
of tea, so to speak.
Right.
I mean, I don't picture, the princes and princesses hanging
Right.
out with Diddy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see that.
Well,
You
there's
know?
all kinds of photos of Diddy with Oprah, and Oprah
Yeah.
seems to be connected with a lot of people who have gone down over the years. So, Oprah,
Yeah.
who are your friends? I don't think Oprah is a good person, in my personal opinion. There's also
A lot is
pictures.
coming out about her lately.
Good. Send her to the wolves with the rest of them. There's also pictures of Diddy with the Clintons, the Obamas. Um, I would say, I mean, probably
I'm a
with
little
Trump
I'm
too.
a little surprised,
I'm
you
not.
know, uh, not not so much Barack Obama, but Michelle Obama. I'm a little surprised about that. But
I'm
now
not.
you're talking. It's like, what is the connection? Because they're like good friends, so to speak, right?
Mhm,
And that's kind of scary.
mhm,
That's kind of scary,
mhm. So,
And it's
like
all of them.
a few years ago when all that Epstein stuff came out and everyone was freaking out because at the time that was brand new information to people, especially like in the height of COVID happening. People were
Yeah,
like going crazy anyway. And then to have this bombshell that, hey, actually celebrities are like raping and trafficking children. And like your favorite celebrities are in on it. Like that was a lot to take in. Granted, I was already way down the rabbit hole before that. So to me, I'm like, yeah, obviously. But for a lot of people, that was shocking information. So I'm finding with
Yeah.
this one, with the Diddy one, a lot more people are open-minded to it. They're not just like, no, Oprah would never do that. The Obamas would never do that. Now they're like, well, if it keeps coming up, if people keep talking about it, is there
Yeah.
some merit to it?
Yeah. It's hard to say because, it's like there's political and then there's just conspiracy theory kind
Hmm.
of scenes. And when the both of them clash,
Yes.
it's hard to really tell what is true and what isn't true
Uh,
anymore. And now
For
you throw
sure.
AI in this and
Yes.
you have no clue.
I was struggling with that last night as I was looking up more stuff. It was like, is this a real video? Is this a real photo? How do we even know?
Yeah.
Um, you don't know, but the fact is there have been several whistleblowers in this whole Diddy thing. Cat Williams being a huge stepping stone in this. He's a comedian and he's been talking about this for months now. 50 Cent is coming out with a documentary on Netflix. Now, when Netflix wants to pick it up, uh, to me, I'm like, okay, there's some red flags there because I don't think that Netflix is a completely unbiased platform by any means, especially at one point the Obamas were on the admin for that. So I don't
Mm,
think it's unbiased by any means. But apparently there's a 50 Cent documentary coming out about this.
yeah.
Remains to be seen. I don't know.
Well, 50 Cent has never been to one of his parties.
Supposedly.
And it makes you wonder why, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just weird how you have some celebrities that just don't go to
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's compelling, and I'm
Right.
very interested in that 50 Cent
Well,
documentary.
yeah. Oh, I'll watch it for sure.
Yeah,
It does make you wonder who knows what and who's willing to keep a secret. And then it also makes you wonder these people who speak out. Like, I personally think, just again, as a Canadian outsider, that when you see a celebrity, let's say, endorsing Republican views, they're no longer famous. So it's like very similar. Like, if you have someone who wants to speak out, well, then look what happens. Like, all of a
yeah,
sudden they are no longer in movies, and or they don't have a record contract anymore. Their celebrity status is sort of revoked. And
yeah,
then if you go even further down the hole, there's a lot of talk like Illuminati or shadow government or whatever you want to call it, where if somebody speaks out, then they like end their life. Like Paul Walker apparently was doing some stuff. Chester Bennington was doing some stuff. Chris Cornell was doing some stuff. Joan Rivers was saying some stuff, and then like their lives ended shortly thereafter. So, is there a connection? I don't know. Do I think that Hollywood is a totally transparent place where everything that you see on the internet is happening? No, definitely not.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's, going to be more drama with this for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
look, it's just craziness, right?
Yes.
And they push the boundaries because they have the money,
Hmm.
and they
Yeah.
keep pushing and pushing, and then it's like a drug.
Hmm.
You just do a little bit more, a little bit, you go
Yes.
a little further, and then before you know it, you're way past that line and you
Yeah.
can't get back.
Yeah. There's talk that in the conspiracy community that the way to get not just famous but like superstardom, and you see this a lot with celebrities who just like rose to fame out of nowhere, is that they are brought to one of these parties, they're drugged, they're put in a
Mm,
horrible position, whether that be rape,
yeah,
murder, whatever, sacrifice, something disgusting, pedophilia, something horrible like that. It's recorded. And then when they come to, they're blackmailed. And it's like, you basically sell your soul to us for your
right.
fame. We'll keep you famous
Yep.
as long as you keep our secret. But there are a lot of whistleblowers out there. None of them, I think, are superstardom status by any means, probably because, like, how do you go back from that? Like, how do you go back from making millions and millions of dollars? Do you want to go back to working at, I don't know, Target? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So there are people watching. I cannot see the chat for whatever reason
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
But I know Kenny is on and he's listening, watching, I should say, or both.
Hi, Kenny. Let me make a
So
comment and see if it pops up for you. Yeah, okay, so I
I
can
had
see
to grab
mine.
my phone to see, who's in the chat, and because I'm like, I was just about to do a hashtag and I can't do it.
Oh,
So,
well, then I
so
will do it as I talk here.
I
You
can't
just tell
even get
me.
the chat to load.
Interesting. Yeah,
So
I can do it on my phone, but yeah. Okay. So to go back a little bit to some of these allegations. So when he was first arrested in September, he was being charged with or investigated for sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, racketeering, coercion to fulfill sexual desires. They have many plaintiffs, including 25 that are minors, both male and female.
oh my gosh.
The legal
See,
team
this is the
has
part I wasn't understanding. Like everybody's making these baby oil jokes and stuff,
well, they
and
supposedly
talking
found
about children. I didn't know
y-
it was
yes,
that.
yes. Apparently, they
Like
found
I
1,000
knew
bottles
about, yeah, I knew
of
about
lube and
some of
baby
the
oil.
women,
Yes,
that he made them do
yeah.
things, but
Like
I didn't know it was
rape
like,
is bad. Rape
well,
and
yeah,
sexual
rape is
abuse
terrible.
is bad. Rape on minors
That's
is worse.
horrible. Yes,
Yes, it's horrible. The
yeah,
legal team
he's
is
gonna
also
need that
saying,
baby oil in
oh,
prison.
yeah, exactly. Legal team has said that they've heard from over 3,000 people with abuse allegations against him. 3,000. Whether that's serving staff at the party, whether that's guests, I don't know. People he's met on tours, I really don't know.
I mean, how
Um,
long has he been around? Since like what,
you,
late 80s?
yeah, I remember him in the later 90s because I was only like 10. My neighbor's sister loved him. So that's when I started hearing about him after Notorious B.I.G. died. But yeah, before that for sure. So
Yeah,
let's say at least
because
a 30-year career.
when he had I'll Be Missing You,
Hmm.
when that was
Faith
popular, I
Evans,
thought
yeah.
that was like early 90s.
No, it was after Notorious was murdered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's
So
right.
97 probably.
Yeah.
96 maybe.
So you figure from just then on, where
That's
he
almost
had
30
so much
years,
money
yeah.
he didn't know what to do with it,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, you're talking 30 years.
Hmm. I know.
You're talking 30 years of
Mhm,
him being, a menace to people.
mhm.
So, I mean, if he's done it, say you just do it on the weekends, how you're forcing people to do things for you on Friday and Saturday
Yeah,
night.
we figure there's 52 weekends in a year times 30. So, that's at least 1,500 opportunities. Well, times 2 because there's 2 days in a weekend. But yes,
Right.
there's a lot of opportunities. And not saying that he's just a weekend guy, but I
No,
would assume
and
that
I'm
he's
not
probably
saying
not.
that either.
Yes.
I'm sure it was daily.
Mhm. Oh, I'm
I'm
sure of
sure it
it.
was daily.
I'm sure of it. So remember I was telling you about their legal team there. So just this couple days ago, this came out. It says that the Texas attorney Tony Busby, he must be on the prosecution. He was saying that many powerful people, many dirty secrets are coming out. He says that his team have collected all kinds of pics and videos and texts. And now Diddy's facing 120 new charges on top of all those other ones that I listed
Ugh.
before, including allegations of sexual misconduct, sexual assault, more trafficking, more abuse spanning over 2 decades. And of course, Diddy denies all of these charges. Like, can you imagine being the legal team for Diddy? Whew,
Oh
the
my God.
paychecks that are going to roll in from that.
Oh, well, they'll eventually stop because he'll eventually be broke.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Sting, if you're out there, you and the police better better get your money for the next 20 years
Yes.
because he's not going to have that money because he has to pay $2,000 to the police,
Mhm.
the band police,
Yeah. For
um,
every breath you take, I'll be
for every
missing
breath
you.
you take
Yeah.
that he stole from them.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, the settlement was $2,000 a day for the rest of his life. The
I'm sorry.
rest of
Like,
his
your team
life.
should have put that $1,000,000 up initially to, like, have the rights to that. Wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
he's in deep, and
Mhm.
he's not going to get out of it.
Mm-mm.
I
But
think they have so much on him. I mean, even if he pleads, a
mhm.
deal,
Oh, he's going away for life, for sure.
yeah.
But he's a celebrity, so will he get out of it? Probably not, because they like to make a precedent out of someone every
No,
few years, as we
and
know.
this is what's going to happen. It'll be Jeffrey Epstein all over again. So he's going to be found guilty. Day one, day two, he'll probably be dead.
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm sure of it. And it's terrible. Like, by the way, where are the Epstein flight logs? Why has that not been opened yet? Why is the Diddy party logs open, but not the flight logs? So I want to know more about that. But anyway, that's
I
an
do
aside.
too.
I will just say before we quickly transition here that Tupac's family have actually hired an attorney to investigate if Diddy was linked to the murder of Tupac.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I gotta
Mhm.
watch my back because
Us talking
I
smack
don't
here.
want Diddy standing behind me.
Yeah, right, with his bottle of baby lotion, baby oil.
Yeah, no, definitely not with that.
Ugh, crazy. Yeah, look into it, people. Go to sources that aren't just Google. Go on TikTok, go on Instagram, follow different pages. Look up Cat Williams. He talks a lot. Look up 50 Cent. Justin Bieber has some lyrics that are very interesting that kind of pertain to it. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there who are talking, but it is hidden. So dive deep. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
because
It's a lot to
when
take in.
I can't help but stop. I keep thinking of things like it makes you wonder what really happens with couples. And you mentioned Justin Bieber. What happened
Mhm.
with him and Selena Gomez? Did this play a part in any of this?
Maybe. Maybe. Like, one of his lyrics talks about how he lost himself at the Diddy party and was it worth it for all the fame and things like that. Like, I've seen videos. Again, AI is a very weird thing, what's real, what isn't, but it was Justin as a young man engaged in some very lewd acts with some men at a club. And
Mm,
it, it was honestly haunting to see, because it's like when a child is thrown into this position of ultra fame, like, what did he have to do to
yeah,
get there? He's thrown into manhood real fast,
yeah.
and I don't think that's right. So I don't know. Look into it, people. It's interesting. It's
Mm.
sad, but just
It
understand. I will leave it
is.
at this: Diddy is not the only one. Like, I almost feel bad for the guy because he's not the only one. They're all in on this. Okay, so yes, he should have to pay for what he's done, but so should they all. So that's how I'm going to leave
Yeah,
this
it'll be interesting once the trial happens if there's anybody else that gets it.
one. Well, they should. If you are involved in trafficking, minors, sexual assault,
Yeah,
beating the crap out of people,
yeah, it's bad.
lubing up and
It's
doing stuff, making people engage in to whatever sex with hired help
and
so
it's
that you could watch with your friend. Like,
and
it's
you can't even watch like TV shows and movies that have kids in it without wondering who's
yes.
watching them.
Well, I mean, we should do a show on the Disney kids here, because there's a lot that have come out
Oh, I
saying
know.
that what's his
You see
face?
that
Dan.
series?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking about. But a lot of these, no, not Disney, Nickelodeon. Yeah, the Nick
Nickelodeon.
kids coming out about that Dan guy. He's that big fat guy. I can't remember his last name.
Hmm.
Schneider. But there's
Yeah.
like videos of him like laying in bed with these kids or in a hot tub with them, and
And
Yeah,
some
these are
other
just
guy
kids.
took the fall for it all.
Yeah, of course they did. But I mean, I've been hearing about Dan Schneider for years now, and it's like it's good that people are talking. And there's a reason that these like Disney stars, these kids used to have this like cutesy little appearance and then all of a sudden went a little nuts. They don't know who they are anymore. They've got drug
Yeah.
problems. They're chopping off their hair or they're whatever. There's a reason
Nope.
for that. It's because they've seen some stuff.
It goes back a long ways, and
Mhm.
I remember, when Michael Jackson got some
Yeah.
publicity about all this stuff, and
Mhm.
you kind of hope that maybe some of them, if anything did happen, that they would actually say so,
Mhm.
because it's ugly, and
I don't know, at
Hollywood
the
is.
sake
mm,
of being offed, your career over, if not sacrificed, in my opinion.
but it does anyway, and they don't understand this, that soon as all this stuff comes out,
Mhm.
their careers are over anyway, and it
Yeah,
shouldn't be. It
it's
shouldn't be.
it's hard to, crawl back from allegations like this for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But the victims are the ones that lose all the time.
Yeah, of
All the
course.
time.
Mhm. I mean, how many
They
victims
get
were
rid
paid
of
off?
them if if uh, they attempt to say anything, they're
Mhm.
basically ousted.
Mhm.
And what's more important to them is the stardom, so they stay with it, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Ah,
So
all
that
right.
was heavy.
Yeah,
So, well, let's
yeah.
transition into this also incredibly sad story here. The mayor of a Mexican city. Oh no, you're doing this. Oh, sorry,
No,
I
no,
got it
no,
wrong.
no. You're right. I just clicked the
All
wrong
right.
thing.
Okay.
I just clicked the wrong thing.
Okay. So the mayor of a Mexican city has been murdered this week, just days after taking office, which is wild. So Alejandro Arcos, he was sworn in just on Monday as mayor of, and I'm going to butcher this, Chilpancingo, which is a city in the state of Guerrero. And I don't know much about Mexican geography, but I know that it's in the same state that Acapulco is located. So it's on the Pacific side. It's the second largest city in Guerrero, and it houses about 280,000 people. So it's, a fairly good sized city.
Yeah.
This area, Guerrero, has long been hit with drug violence and gangs. As we know, the drug trade down in Mexico. I mean, it's probably no
Hmm.
different than the States, but it definitely has more of a rap. The cartel down there is insane. The gang violence down there is insane.
Yeah.
Police have not confirmed any details about Arco's death, but
I'm
they were
afraid.
pictured. Oh, of course they are, but they were pictured at the scene in Chilpancingo where a body was reported to have been found. Excuse me. This violence also, this is wild to me. This comes 3 days after another city official was
Mhm.
murdered. His name was Francisco Tapia. He was shot to death just 3 days earlier, and he was the city's new government secretary for this um, Chilpancingo, which is crazy. So a Mexican senator has come out saying that both of these politicians were young and honest public servants who were genuinely seeking progress for their community. So of course they got offed, right? You do good
Of
things, you
course.
get offed, right? He also called on the federal attorney's office to lead an investigation into the murders, given the situation of what he calls the ungovernability of Guerrero. So that's pretty bad that an entire state, so picture, I don't know, Texas, isn't able to have leaders because they'll just die. Crazy, right? It says that the
Yeah.
state has become one of the most dangerous places in Mexico for aspiring and elected public officials. So, if you are thinking of getting to a life of politics, if you want to make a better way in Guerrero, don't. It, it's not worth it, maybe.
Yeah. You can't. They don't
No,
allow it.
no. It says that
And
6 candidates for public office were killed in Guerrero just ahead of this election at the beginning of June. So 6 others, so now like 8 people have been murdered there. And then this is interesting. Last year, officials said that a demonstration was held by hundreds of people in Chilpancingo, and it was organized by criminals to secure the release of two gang leaders arrested for their possession of drugs and weapons. So, probably cartel leaders. And there was a huge demonstration, and this blocked traffic of most of the road between Mexico City and Acapulco. And so, to put into perspective how big that area is, I put it into Google Maps, 380 kilometers or 235 miles. So traffic
Wow.
was blocked for 235 miles. And the only way that they would move is to have their demands met, which were let these two leaders out of jail. So it says that they fought security officials before using a police truck to ram down the gates of the state legislative building. Tons of police and state and federal officials were actually taken hostage by the criminals before being released when the demands were finally met and these guys were released.
Jesus. And he was
Yeah.
beheaded.
Yeah. So that's what they're saying. That the security minister, I don't know if it's of Guerrero State or if it's of Mexico, but he is not identifying anything really. He doesn't want to talk about any details. He said for the investigation's sake that he can't, but basically photos have circulated of a head, a beheaded head on top of a pickup truck. And it went all over WhatsApp and Mexican media. But again, he's not releasing any information of it. What we do know is that Arcos was traveling out of town to a meeting and he was going alone. He didn't request a bodyguard or a driver or anything like that. He drove in his own pickup truck. So the fact that this picture is of a head on a pickup truck, maybe. But he was only driving to the neighboring town of, and again, I'm going to butcher this, Petaquilas, which was only 60 miles away. So it's only an hour and 20-minute drive. I'm guessing he hopped in his truck and was like, no, I can make it to there. That security minister who won't share details is also saying that he's not going to identify who Arcos was meeting with. And I think that definitely has some merit as well. Like, why was he in Petaquilas? Who was he meeting? What were they talking about? It is said that he was meeting members of Los Ardillos, which was a criminal group in Guerrero. So wild. It is the Wild West down there.
It's beyond Wild West out there.
Yes.
It's beyond that. It is highly volatile, right? I mean,
yes.
The only way you can improve anything is to take it over with military and eliminate the cartel. That's the only way you can succeed.
So I'm thinking of like Rwanda, Uganda. So I met a guy years ago that said, "Oh, I'm from Uganda. I'm from Rwanda. You should come visit." And I'm like, "Sir, I've seen Rwanda Hotel. Like, no, thank you." And he's like, "No, it's so safe now." And then I was talking about it with my dad's friend who's from Uganda and their neighboring countries, and he said Rwanda is very safe now. Same with Uganda because Uganda got a dictator in office, and he literally killed any guerrilla warfare, any criminals, anything like that, murdered them. And now I think people are just too scared to act out. So, like, is that the best way to have a dictator? I don't know. It seems to have made the countries safe, but is that right as well? I don't know.
Opposition.
Exactly. And like, who would dare oppose them, right? It's why Castro was in for so many years. It's why who's that guy in Venezuela, like, or the guys in China, it's why these countries are in the state that they are. Putin, like,
it's gonna, nobody wants to oppose because you'll die.
You'll
die. They squash out the competition before it can even get started.
Yep, for sure. And like, look, this guy got in 6 days ago and then he's been murdered.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was only a couple of days after.
Yeah.
So
last year I had a massage and the massage therapist was a man from Ukraine. And he was saying like he can't believe what goes on in our countries, like Canada and the US specifically, the amount of freedom that we have. He said in his country, if people didn't like a politician or they didn't like somebody, you know how they deal with it? He would be murdered and no one would ever talk about it again. He's like, so the fact that, you know, you guys have this, but he said the problem with that, like ours, is that no one gets dealt with. You know, if you have leaders in who are terrible, like
Yeah.
running Canada to the ground for the last 10 years, nobody can do
Yeah.
anything about it. But I guess in Ukraine, they take matters into their own hands. So
Yeah.
I got another country that's Wild West, Russia.
Oh, yeah. You think?
But yeah, anyway, I don't want to make
Didn't
light
know
of the
that.
situation, but yeah. We told you guys it was going to be a heavy day today.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can lighten it up a little. We have some
Yeah,
good
let's
stuff
lighten it
here.
up. We've got a couple of good ones coming up here. I saw Hugh Jackman. Okay,
Yeah,
better be
Hugh
good.
Jackman.
Is his
You
announcement that he's
know?
on the Diddy list? Because I can't handle any more of this.
Oh, I don't know if he's on the Diddy list. Um,
Ryan Reynolds
I don't
was,
think
so
he
I wouldn't be
is.
surprised.
I don't think he is. I don't know.
I'm sure he
Who knows?
is. They all aren't.
They probably are all on it. But Hugh Jackman coming off his success from Deadpool and Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
um, he has announced he's doing a 12-show concert series at
What?
Radio City Music Hall.
Interesting.
He's doing a residency for Radio City, right?
Interesting. Was it him in The Greatest Showman singing? Like that was his
Yes,
voice? Okay, so
it's
he's a singer.
100% him.
That's
And
cool.
so it's going to be from New York with Love starting January 24th. It'll be one weekend per month, and it will be April, May, June, July, and August.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened to February and March, but and it will end August 15th and 16th.
Wow.
Now, he was in The Greatest Showman. He was the one that was singing. He
Hmm.
also was in Les Miserables.
Oh, okay. I never saw it, but
He
that's
has
cool.
also done one-man shows before. In 2019, The Man, the Music, the Show.
Oh,
And then in 2011, he did Hugh Jackman back in Broadway. And get
interesting.
this list of all these Broadway musicals. Oklahoma, Carousel, The Music Man, The Boy from Oz, The River, and A Steady Rain.
He's done all of
All
these.
musicals. He sings. He's got a good
Wow.
voice.
Okay, he's very talented. It seems like the only thing I know him from, yes, Greatest Showman, but like Wolverine. So to see him as something else, especially something so juxtaposed like a musicals, is so different
Yeah.
than Wolverine. That's cool.
Yeah. So he is doing 12 shows in those months. So one weekend in those months, 2 shows a week.
Crazy. How
So yeah.
overinflated are his ticket sales going to be? Or his
Oh,
ticket
I don't
cost?
know. I didn't check the price. I mean, I wasn't planning on going, but,
No,
but
you
I
should.
did not check the price. I'm just giving people, hey, if you're in that area, go check him out. He's got a good voice.
Mm-hmm. Kenny
He's
says
very talented.
overrated.
So, you know, maybe they should have had him be in the Joker movie. Maybe it would have sounded better. At least the music would have been good.
I'm seeing so many memes about it now after our Tuesday show.
It's it's brutal.
We're
It's
still mad
brutal.
about it. Eh?
Oh, I'm furious. I've been talking about it for 3 freaking days.
Hilarious.
All right. So, see, I blew through that one, made up some time.
Perfect.
So now
Perfect.
we get to 60s.
Yes, we do. So let me find it here on my phone. Continuing our theme for the number one hit of the year for every year per decade. So right now we're on the 60s, we've done 90s, we've done 80s, we've done 70s. Here are the 60s. So in 1960, Percy Faith and his orchestra with a theme from A Summer Place. I love
Mm-hmm.
that song. It is so
Yep.
pleasant. It's like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
relaxing. It was number one for 9 weeks and was on the Hot 100 for 21 weeks.
Good.
1961. I don't know this one. Maybe you do. Bobby Lewis, Tossin' and Turning.
I think I know what it is.
Hmm.
It's an okay song. It's like a leftover from the 50s, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken.
Yeah, it's like when I was reading about it, it seemed more like a bop,
Yeah.
like a bop.
Yeah.
But it spent
Yeah.
7 weeks at number one, 23 weeks on the Hot 100. 1962, Mr. Acker Bilk, Stranger on the Shore. Again, don't know it. Only
I
1
don't know
week
that one.
at number one and 21 weeks at Hot 100. Again, I don't know where they say that this is the number one song of the year if it only was spent 1 week at number one, but this is on Billboard's website, so obviously they know better than I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
1963, the Beach Boys, Surfing in the USA, or sorry, just Surfing USA.
Surfing USA.
Only 3 weeks at number one.
Yeah.
So, but 25 weeks on the Hot 100.
Yeah.
So, 64, the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Great
So, I mean,
song.
this
Love the
is
Beatles.
where are we here? Right here. This
Yep.
isn't their six.
Love
This
the
is their
Beatles.
Sergeant Pepper. We're a little early still, but yes, I love the Beatles. 65 is Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. Woolly Bully. Oh, you know this. Okay.
That was the title of our episode yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Wooly Bully.
Nice.
And because we talked about bullies
Mm,
on the show. So if you want a good bully list, check out that list on there.
okay. I always want to get on live, and when I'm awake, I do, but I'm rarely awake at that time. Okay, 1966 is The Mamas and the Papas, California Dreamin'. Great song.
Yep.
Great song.
Yep. It is a
Uh,
great song.
yeah, awesome song. Okay, 67, Lulu, To Sir with Love.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
part of James Bond by chance? Did they use it in one of the?
I'm not sure if it was or not.
Hmm.
To Sir with Love, you said?
Mm-hmm.
It might be a James Bond thing.
Mm-hmm. Spent 5 weeks at number one on the charts for 17 weeks. 68, The Beatles, Hey Jude,
Oh,
number one
one
for
of the
nine
best songs of
weeks.
all time.
Oh yeah, so good. There was the Beatles on the other day in my car, and I said to my kids, "Who is this?" And I cover my younger one, she knows music. My older one, she has no idea. She's 14. But they both knew it was the Beatles. Probably they were looking, and I was like, "Which singer is it?" Like, if you really want to impress me, they're like, But okay, 1969, the Archies, Sugar Sugar,
Oh yeah,
great song.
it is. It's a
Yeah,
fun song.
yeah, 22 weeks on the
It's
Hot 100.
the Archies is basically, a rehash trying to make up for the Beatles,
Hmm.
So they're clones. The
Oh, are
Beatles
they?
and I mean the Archies and Monkeys are like Beatle
Oh, I like the
clones.
Monkees. Remember the
I do
Monkees
too.
TV show? I
Oh,
loved
I
that
used to
one.
watch it all the time.
Me too. Did I say this one? I think I missed this. The Beatles, I Wanna Hold Your Hand, 1964. I think I jumped right past
Oh, you
1964.
missed that one, yeah.
Totally. I went from Surfing USA in 63 up to Woolly Billy here. So yeah, 1964, the Beatles, I Wanna Hold Your Hand. So the Beatles hit number one song of the year 3 different times in the 60s. No
Yeah,
surprise. If I was to say
not a surprise. Not a surprise.
one band that uh, was the 60s, it's the Beatles to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
our list.
that's a great list,
Mhm.
and it's weird because, you know, I've noticed that the beginning of the decade starts off a little slow.
Mhm.
It
It
starts
usually
off a
does.
little slow.
Yeah.
You
The
have
le
more of the obscure things that
Yeah.
are number 1, and then you find all the powerhouses at the end.
Well, remember the 70s? It was, like, sappy, like, "Tie
Yeah,
a yellow ribbon
yeah.
round the" yeah, like, it
It's
was
all that
cheese.
peace and love. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it was cheese is what it was.
Yeah, yeah. So I got a pretty good one here.
Okay.
I noticed that it was David Lee Roth's birthday
Oh,
today,
okay. Cool.
so I figured, all right, let's find something for Van Halen,
Mm,
little Van Halen love, right?
nice. Yeah.
So his birthday, I decided, hey, let's do Spotify's top 10 Van Halen streams.
Okay, cool.
So number 10 is Dance the Night Away.
Great song.
37 million streams.
Wow.
37 million. Then it has Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, number 9, 51 million streams. Can't Stop Loving You.
Oh, these are
Love
all
that song.
great.
These are all great songs. I mean, these are all great. Number 8, Why Can't This Be Love?
Oh,
60 million.
that might be my favorite. I'm downloading all this music as we're talking.
It's a great song. These are all great. Number 7 is showcasing Eddie Van Halen's guitar, Eruption, 65 million streams. Then it made sense that number 6 would be You Really Got Me, because that's the lead-in to this song, for 70 million streams.
Jeez.
Oh, wait. Ain't Talking About Love, number 5, 82 million streams. I love that song. I love all these songs. Number 4, Hot for Teacher. Wonder if they were visiting,
I'm sure they were.
those parties. Hot for Teacher, 96 million streams.
Wow. It's got such a great intro.
Oh, it is. It's definitely a great intro. Number 3, Running with the Devil, 131 million streams. 131 million, right? That's number 3. Number 2, Panama, 183 million streams for Panama. Great. If you want a great song for a guitar, that's a great song for a guitar. That is dynamite.
Right.
And number one, 439 million streams on Spotify. Jump.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was a mega hit for them.
That's not even, I'm on Apple Music here there it is. Yeah, it is there. For their essentials. And there's like a lot of really good songs on here too that you didn't say. Jamie's Crying.
Yep.
Pretty Woman. I liked their version of that. Why Can't This Be Love? Did you say that one? I can't remember now. Dancing in the Street. So yeah. I always give Van Halen a hard time, but I actually really like him.
Yeah, they're really good. They have a lot of great music, and
yeah, they do.
A lot of the songs that don't even get released are really good, especially off that 5150 album with Sammy Hagar. That album is really good. Really good.
I think I prefer Sammy Hagar myself, but
adds another dimension.
Yeah.
Adds another dimension. I saw them with Sammy in concert, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was great.
Well, that was a great show. Heavy. A lot to take in today.
Yeah, we finished it off pretty light, though. That was nice.
We did. Yes, we did. Join us on Saturday. Kenny and Ron are here. Continue with the Diddy stuff. Yes.
Kenny's got some craziness going on.
I love it.
I never know what to do for graphics with his topics because
I know.
They're so creative, his topics, and I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, what do I do?
I know,
but they're interesting. He surprises the hell out of me. He does.
We'll say like 1 or 2 words for our topics, and then Kenny comes out with like a full title about what his topic's going to be. Yeah.
Yep. I gotta put him on with you.
Yes, please. Next week.
Yeah. I'll make it
Kenny,
happen.
You and me on Tuesday.
There we go. See? It's said right there.
It's said. Well, awesome. Great show.
All right.
Check us out on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific? No, Eastern.
Yep. Eastern time. 7 if you're in Edmonton.
Pacific, yes. Awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right. Take care, everybody.